One thing, even when you bring up those tours, I feel like the audience that grew up watching you guys like freestyle motocross, like these icons, these pioneers, like you're saying, like
they grew up on Crusty Demon's Dirt.
Yeah.
And so before social media, you'd never see that, let alone in Australia, let alone pretty much anywhere. So when it came to town, it was like Motley Crue was in town.
Yeah.
There was like...
That's what it was like. Like that's how quick we were selling out arenas.
After the show, there'd be like 5,000 in the crowd, just people doing burnouts on street bikes and that, just waiting for these guys to come out and sign.
Like just to show their appreciation, they would rip all the seats out of the stands and throw them at us down on the field. Like remember that one year they flipped
show
over
our appreciation?
Dude, they flipped over a couple of cop cars and they're just so stoked that we were there doing shows. Like
Perth, every year they riot in Perth, but we have the coffin cheaters, the bikies usually show up for that, and they're our security, so they don't really come backstage.
Remember, like they would rock, we would be like driving the van, they'd be rocking the van. We're like, fuck, is this thing gonna flip over? Like it would be gnarly.
As soon as the guy lands the last jump, we all pin it back to the pits in Perth, and they'll jump the fence, they'll tip all the ramps over, get a bunch of people on each end, and spin the ramps
crawling
around.
up on the airbag. Remember that year in Perth when the dudes fell off the airbag and a couple legs got broken?
He was sitting on the airbag and he got like blobbed. Someone jumped off the top of the ramp onto the airbag and seat bounced the other dude off, and he broke his femur.
Gnarly.
I mean, anarchy.
Yeah, just the fans just go crazy in Oz, dude. It's rad. I love going to Australia.
And then back then, like, you know, we'd be driving the rental cars between stops, doing burnout speed, and the cops are like, oh, yeah, the demons are in town. Yeah, you can get away with it.
We got kicked out of every hotel. They had to start renting us condos, and then we got kicked out of all the condos. Then they had to start booking rooms under separate names.
Crusty Demons
they couldn't
anymore.
use any of the names, and then somehow they would find out we were there.
We got told to behave after, like, when you guys stopped coming over, and it was like towards 2008, 2009. They're like, hey, we're running out of hotel chains. So you guys, if you don't behave, we've got nowhere to stay. We'll be in the caravan park.
We would like Link Oggle would go out and he would just throw the promoters. He would go to the promoters room and literally throw every piece of furniture out the window that was in a room. Phone, lamp, TV,
Larry
bed,
was different.
Anything, shower curtain.
What was the reasoning for always having to trash furniture in hotel rooms?
We were just assholes.
How old were you?
I was probably
22, 23.
20, I think 21 when I first started going over there, maybe.
Yeah.
Who originally put all that together to go to Australia?
So Foreman and a couple of others did the Perth show first, the all crusted out tour, and they thought maybe 5,000 people were going to show up. Like 35,000 people showed up. Police helicopter came. There was riots.
35,000 people showed up to the first one in Perth,
and they were hoping to get 5,000 people.
And it was just in like a big outdoor. It might have been a speedway, but there was a couple of dirt jumps here, and like Metzger's like, "Hey, come here, I'll give my helmet out," and just
the
half
whole
the crowd
just
jumped
rushes in. Like,
what year was that?
03, maybe 02, probably 02.
Maybe 02, maybe 2002.
Videos were at an all-time high. People were watching.
Still VHS
but
tapes.
you didn't see that till the next year when the video came out to see how crazy it was, because you didn't have social media, you didn't have Facebook, you didn't have MySpace.
Didn't even have DVDs then.
No, nothing.
What was the time difference on a video? You guys would film for like 6 months, then put out a video?
Like a year.
Crusty,
least,
we didn't even have you didn't have Hoodrich out yet. It was just basically Crusty, then maybe Steel Roots, and then Terra Firma. Yeah. So there was only maybe like 3 or 4 Moto VHS tapes that had come out a year, and most people would film all year, and around Christmas time it was just the open season.
Yeah.
And then that's when you went over there. You hadn't done.
The only reason I got on tour is because Mike Sinkmars was kind of hurt going into the tour, and he was like the big whip guy. And back then, like, my whips were pretty good. And he's like, "Hey, I want you to come in and fill in for me when it's my segment." Like, he would still go out, do a ride, do some tricks, and then like halfway through, they're like, "Hey, I'm calling out my buddy Twitch. He's gonna come out here and do the whip for me." And was basically my intro to Crusty Demons, like, for the tour.
And your first tour stop, who was on the team with you?
It was Hart.
There you go, Feist.
Tommy
Clowers?
Feist, huh?
Did you do it with Tomcat?
Yeah, Clowers was there.
Flying Hawaiian.
Trevor Vines, was he there?
I don't know.
I don't remember. It was a stacked field. Like, it was like all the dudes of who the dudes were back then.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And how'd you get mixed in with them?
That's when I snuck in.
That's when he snuck in.
I was racing like Supercross on my 80 in the same stadium, so I kind of knew my way around, but I just watched them walk in and show their wristband, and then got the color, went to the news agency, bought some colored paper, cut it up, put a little logo on it with some texter, Sharpie, and then here we go.